There's a question people are asking themselves. Why do we have some MPs performing well and other MPs performing poorly? I am trying to understand, I'm trying to share with you my thoughts of why some MPs develop their areas more than other MPs. I will give an example of two MPs. There are many, but the leading one is NDINDI NYORO. KJ, not very far. Even people who smoke bang in public, like Peter Selassie, they develop a lot. But then you find other MPs, like the recently deceased MP for Malava, Moses Malulu Injendi. You will start wondering why. And if you ask a lot of questions, there is somebody who calls himself Muteule Sikolia. He's a person who is very quick to say, come and see the. If you listen to him on social media, you would think that Malava was more developed than Kiharu. But then it is not. I can say that an MP like Nabi Nabwera, in 2 years, he has developed Lugari more than what the late Malulu Injendi developed Malava in 2 terms. So I just wanted to give my own opinion as to what may have led. I want to give my own opinion as to what would be the reason for the MPs, some developing, others not developing, and yet they get the same. There is a slight change. I would be lying if I said that all MPs get the same salary, because I understand things like mileage. An MP for Nairobi gets less mileage than an MP for Northeast or Mandera or even Turkana. So there are those differences. But in and then there is also the calculation that they make. There is the calculation they make for issuing money for things such as CDF. Of course, I don't want to talk today about bursary in the CDF because I just wanted to talk about development. But even if that is that, let us talk of bursary in the CDF. What happens is that let us take the number of students who are in a constituency in the remote areas. How many students are in the secondary school compared to the number of students in a place like the capital? So you may find that in the bursary amount that is allocated to capital constituencies may even be 4 times more than then, let's say, bursary that is allocated to constituencies which are in the far-flung areas of the country. But because those are far-flung areas, they have pupils or students who are very few. You'll find that in the places like capital, you find that some students are given 5,000 as bursary. Now, what does that 5,000 do if all the fees are still remaining? It is just a drop in the sea. But you find in areas which are far-flung, you find that the students' fees are paid in full. They even are paid uniform. uniform for each year, for the 4 year that that student will be there. I think people should look into that. Bursary should be looked at afresh, and I've even suggested on ways that bursaries can be given, so that people are not tempted to go and register in far-flung areas while they stay in places like the capital. But anyway, that is about bursary. I wanted to talk about some constituencies developing while others don't develop. There are two reasons. I would start with the subsidiary reason and then the principal reason. The subsidiary reason goes like this. We have places where a politician is a very good sweet talker. It's a very good sweet talker. He talks so well about a lot of things when he's in a public meeting. Shimulolo mundu ni watu haya, sijui nini. Anakuja na ukabwere wake kwa public meeting to an extent that people enjoy his speeches. At the end of the day, they go home, their places are not developed. These people have got very good slogans and whatever. So when they're visiting their constituencies, you'll find that when they have meetings, a lot of people attend, because you'll find they're telling each other, let us go and enjoy the speech that Mheshimiwa is going to give us. That is the subsidiary reason why people, non-developing leaders, are re-elected again and again. I dare say that if Malulu Njendi would not have died, if we were going to have elections in 2027, he would still be elected. But you'll find a lot of people going around saying that he let Malava down. He never developed that place. But these are the people whom, when he was alive and I would attack him, they never reacted to it. Some even would confront me by saying, if you are so good in, why don't you offer yourself as a candidate? So as I've said repeatedly, most of these people who are elected are these people who know how to speak, entertain crowds, how to move crowds. So crowds think that if an MP talks that way, then he deserves to be in the August House. That is the subsidiary reason. The other reason I have also to blame, you see, even in that subsidiary reason, I have blamed the voters. Because voters choose to elect a cartoonist. They elect to choose a cartoonist. That is why they are what they are. If they would have chosen to elect somebody who is good and whatever, then they would have a very good leader. But then, since they have chosen a cartoonist, it is just like in the market where they say somebody had a goat and another one had a monkey. So people went and really enjoyed the monkey, and there was so much filled at the stall where there was the monkey. But at the end of the day, they went and bought the goat and slaughtered and ate. The monkey person went back with the monkey. So if you want a monkey business, the monkey business you get. And the other reason is also the principal reason now is we also have to blame the voters, the electors. The electors are people who are to blame. Electors are people who are to blame because even today, if you are to go to a public meeting where a politician is having a meeting or anything or whatever, or brainstorming, people go there and say that we are going to get, I mean, you even go to a meeting, or if you don't go to a meeting, you ask those who went to the meeting, they'll tell you everybody was given 200, or even 500. When we see elected leaders, especially the members of the National Assembly, we see them as the ATM. We see them as ATM. so that whenever they come, so you concentrate. And I'm very sure if you meet a lot of people, they'll tell you, that politician is good in talking or good in whatever, but ni mkono gamu, he cannot give you money. People do that. But you see, that money is the money that is supposed to develop your area. Let me start from the word go. This is how it starts. When there is going to be an election, people start campaigning a few years before the election day. They start campaigning, and what do they usually do? We have business people. We have well-placed business people who can even sponsor 2 to 3 candidates. These business people, what they do is that they look at the 3 leading candidates, and they'll sponsor each of the 3 without the other 2 knowing. They come to you, say that I've seen that you're the one who's going to be the MP. Take the 2 million. They go to the other candidate, the second one, tell him or her the same, and the third the same, because they know that whatever happens, one of the 3 will be the MP. Now, those are several people. When elections are held, because the politician went around giving out money, he or she went giving out money to electors. And when he or she gave money to the electors, they elected him or her. Once they elected him or her, we now have projects. We have projects, infrastructure, and so on and so forth. Who will win the tenders? The tenders, of course, will be won by none other than that contractor who had paid for the 3 candidates. When that contractor wins, he will do shady deals. He'll do shady deals. Some cases will not even do the work and whatever. For example, a road from point A to point B, it is costing 20 million shillings. He will put there 5 million shillings. The 15 million will go into 2 ways. One, he will recoup the money that he spent on the candidates. And 2, he'll be saving money to give it to the other candidates when the other elections are held. Now, we have these politicians whom, when he has a meeting, you attend there and go home hungry and angry. These are the politicians who campaign without using a lot of money. These are the politicians, once they are elected, they will go for meritocracy. They'll choose good contractors, they'll do whatever. So that you find that if a person from if a person from, okay, let's take Dagoretti South, for example. There are 12 new senior schools which have been constructed from the ground. It used to be a field. 12 were built in Nairobi County, and 6 of them, half of that, are constructed within Dagoretti South constituency. Why is it so? It's because the MP did not use his money or even the contractor's money to bribe voters. So that when it comes to election time, the contractor does not save the money that he bribed, so as he bribed the candidate when he was seeking for election. He would also not do substandard work because of saving money to give that. He got his position, he got the contract on merit. And that is why you start wondering why places like Kiharu has Cabro whatever. Yes, I hear some people say that by being the chairman of PAC, or being the what do you call, the chairman of budget committee, he has tried to maybe allocate himself more money than other places. I'm not in a position to know whether it is true or not, but what I would tell you is that expect handouts and expect less development. hakuna kingine, hiyo tu.